Caitlyn Clark's new side hustle pays more than her basketball salary? People keep asking the same question. How did a single athlete not only dominate women's basketball, but also become one of the most in-demand figures in corporate boardrooms? Caitlyn Clark has become a name known to superfans and casual observers alike, drawing in massive crowds and stirring up controversies many believed were impossible in the world of women's sports. But what really lies beneath this meteoric rise? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the deals, the rumors, and the hidden truths surrounding this powerhouse athlete. By the end, you'll see exactly why Caitlyn Clark's story is far more than buzzer-beating three-pointers. It's a gripping saga of missed million-dollar opportunities, old money influences, and a possible new revolution in women's sports. The unstoppable force. On the court, Caitlyn Clark didn't simply walk onto a basketball court. She made an entrance that changed everything. Within months of her breakout performances, the media couldn't stop talking about her. Sports analysts from every major network highlighted her ability to drain three-pointers as though they were free throws, while team owners salivated over the marketing potential of her every move. It wasn't just skill, it was flair. It was swagger, and it was something women's basketball had been craving for years. But the real story started long before she stepped into the professional spotlight. A standout player in her college years, she showed early signs of what some called once-in-a-generation talent. Before she had even been drafted, rumors spread that top brands were already jockeying for her attention, determined to turn her into a household name. And if there was any doubt about her marketability, it evaporated the moment sold-out stadiums became her new normal. People clamored for tickets months in advance, scalping them at outrageous prices just for a chance. To watch her pull off a no-look pass or break a defender's ankles with a killer crossover. Yet her appeal went deeper than her moves on the court. Sponsors and fans alike felt drawn to her confident but approachable demeanor. She was the unstoppable force in the sports world, and somehow also the relatable every woman who would flash a genuine smile at a post-game interview. That duality made her an icon in record time. But here's the intriguing part. Many believed this was only a fraction of her potential. Sparks flew when her agent dropped hints about how big her branding empire could become. Fans rejoiced, anticipating that Caitlyn would soon be seen everywhere. Billboards, talk shows, endorsements, and maybe even her own business ventures. Yet, there's one twist. Everything didn't go quite as smoothly as expected. And as we'll see next, Caitlyn's influence spilled far beyond the hardwood, leading her into circles far removed from your average sports star. Selling out more than arenas. Most athletes live and breathe the court, the field, or the track, rarely stepping into the world of business conferences or corporate galas. Yet Caitlyn Clark shattered that mold. For her, selling out a basketball arena became almost routine. She'd show up, and tickets would vanish faster than anyone could blink. But the real shocker? She's selling out events that have nothing to do with basketball. Picture a grand convention center packed with people dressed in suits and formal attire. The signs outside don't mention a sports tournament or even a charity drive. Instead, they read, "Women in Business Conference, keynote speaker Caitlyn Clark." Seats for this event sold out in days, leaving organizers scrambling to find more space. The appetite for tickets was so high that some paid premium rates for last minute. Passes just to hear her speak for 30 minutes. And it didn't end there. Caitlyn's next scheduled appearance was at a State Chamber of Commerce event, where CEOs and influential policymakers lined up to shake her hand. Sponsors reported that her presence drew a mix of curiosity and genuine respect for her accomplishments. People wanted her insights on leadership, motivation, and resilience, topics you'd expect from a seasoned entrepreneur, not necessarily a young basketball star. Those who doubted her marketability in these non-sport settings quickly changed their tune when they saw how fast these conferences sold out. While others in the WNBA made respectable side income from endorsements, Caitlyn tapped into something few had touched: the deep pockets of corporate America. Sources close to her camp mentioned speaking fees that soared into the six-figure range, occasionally even higher if she had to travel across state lines or out of the country. For many, it's mind-blowing to think she can earn more from a single keynote speech than a typical WNBA salary might offer in an entire season. Naturally, people began to wonder, what's fueling this insane demand? Part of it stems from the excitement around a new face revitalizing women's sports. Another factor is her no-nonsense, business-minded approach. She's a marketing major and has surrounded herself with seasoned professionals who open doors most pro athletes never see. Still, the question remains, if she's scoring so many corporate wins, what happened with that rumored Nike deal? The missed Nike deal? A controversial agent move. While everything seems golden now, there's one glaring bump in the road: the missed Nike opportunity. Whispers began circulating that Caitlyn's agent had either undervalued her star power or negotiated poorly with the global sports apparel giant, causing a deal to slip through her fingers. The specifics are murky. Some say it fell apart at the 11th hour due to creative control issues, while others claim it was about timing and brand alignment. But the consistent rumor? This wasn't just a small endorsement on the table. It was allegedly a multi-million-dollar, multi-year contract that could have elevated Caitlyn to global icon status overnight. Losing it stung. Observers who follow the intricacies of sports marketing called it one of the biggest potential fumbles in recent memory. Of course, no official statements were made, and both sides have carefully danced around the subject. Nike remains tight-lipped, neither confirming nor denying any negotiations. Caitlyn's camp only mentioned that she's keeping her options open for future partnerships. Still, fans can't help but wonder if egos clash behind closed doors. Did her agent set the bar too high, or was Nike hesitant to bet that big on a newcomer? Some critics blame her agent entirely, suggesting that personal ambition overrode good business sense. Others defend the decision, arguing that Caitlyn stands to gain more by aligning with companies that fully support her entrepreneurial spirit. In reality, perhaps it's a mix of both. Missing out on that kind of deal could have been catastrophic for an athlete with fewer irons in the fire. But as we've already seen, Caitlyn pivoted almost seamlessly into alternative revenue streams. In a way, this missed Nike opportunity highlights her unique trajectory. Instead of simply endorsing shoes and sportswear, she's exploring a wider business landscape, a move that might prove more profitable long-term. Still, the ghost of that lost contract casts a long shadow, leaving many to debate if she could have been an even bigger household name by now, but that's not the only factor driving her unstoppable ascent. Let's go deeper into the surprising places that want to see her face and sign her checks. Old money, big checks. Why wealthy circles crave. Caitlyn, it's no secret that traditional corporations and wealthy investors often gravitate towards time-tested personalities. They typically back players who have a proven legacy spanning years. Legends, nearing retirement, or superstars with multiple championships. Yet Caitlyn shattered that rule. Practically overnight, these well-heeled investors and Fortune 500 executives were inviting her to gatherings that most pro athletes couldn't dream of attending. How did this happen? Some attribute it to her polished image. She's confident, without being cocky, ambitious without showing reckless greed. People in finance circles see her as the new face of modern leadership, someone who can remain composed under pressure, yet still display the raw passion needed to break barriers. They see in her the qualities that drive successful startup founders and industry disruptors. The numbers are staggering. Rumor has it that certain speaking engagements pay her well into 6 figures for a half-hour Zoom appearance. In-person events can climb even higher, with some insiders speculating she's pocketing $250,000 or more each time she steps onto a stage. It's a reality that dwarfs what most athletes, and even many CEOs, take home in the same time frame. For Caitlyn, these business deals come with perks that extend beyond money. By mingling with prominent corporate figures, she gains a front-row seat to the old money power structures that control various industries. These networks could pave the way for future investments, ownership stakes, or brand collaborations few WNBA players ever land. In a sense, she's skipping the usual sports marketing trajectory and diving straight into the big leagues of corporate influence. But as you might suspect, all this adulation has another side. Some fans worry that rubbing shoulders with wealthy elites might distance her from her original fan base. Others argue she's simply seizing the moment, capitalizing on her fame while it's at a peak. Because, let's face it, no athlete is safe from the unpredictable tides of public opinion. And that's precisely the next twist in this story, the looming possibility that today's hero could become tomorrow's target. The inevitable fan. Backlash public adoration is fickle, and the higher the pedestal, the harder the fall can be. It's a pattern we've seen time and again. The media and fans build up an athlete, showering them with praise only to tear them down at the first sign of imperfection. LeBron James faced it, Serena Williams felt it, and many other sports icons have watched their fanbase turn on them in the blink of an eye. Right now, Caitlyn is at the top of her game, adored by kids, parents, and older fans alike. Yet the conversation on social media suggests an undercurrent of skepticism. Some critics question whether her meteoric rise is too good to be true, hinting that she might be overshadowing the achievements of other talented players. They ask if she's truly a generational superstar or just a carefully polished marketing product. Still others complain that she's grown too chummy with the corporate elite, betraying her humble roots. What magnifies this is the 24/7 scrutiny that sports stars face in the digital age. A single offhand comment can go viral, sparking weeks of debate. If Caitlyn even slightly missteps, be it a controversial take or a perceived slight against a teammate, her critics will pounce. For now, she appears unbothered by the chatter, focusing on training, speaking engagements, and carefully selected brand deals. But no athlete can escape the cyclical nature of fandom. It's not a question of if, but when the backlash may occur. In the meantime, she's pushing forward, forging new paths in women's sports. One of the most intriguing rumors fueling speculation talks of a new league that could shake the foundation of the WNBA itself, but how does Caitlyn factor into this possible revolutionary shift in women's basketball? Let's find out. Whispers of a new league. Is Caitlyn the catalyst? Sports insiders have been buzzing about a radical concept, a newly formed professional women's basketball league that could rival or even overshadow the WNBA. Fueling these whispers was a comment by Caitlyn's agent, who suggested that star players should break away and create their own system, one that pays them what they truly deserve. While the idea sounded far-fetched to some, others saw it as a natural evolution in women's sports, especially given the rising fan interest in certain elite players. Could Caitlyn be the face of this new frontier? If it materializes, her involvement seems inevitable. She's already proved she can fill seats and attract corporate sponsors on her own. Her value to any nascent league would be incalculable. Imagine new teams forming, anchored by a figure whose mere presence guarantees massive television ratings and sponsorship deals. But it's a double-edged sword. The WNBA has been her platform, her stepping stone to national fame. Breaking away might spark backlash not just from the league's executives, but also from fans who see it as a betrayal. Critics could argue that a breakaway league would divide resources, confuse audiences, and risk diminishing the overall progress women's basketball has made. Meanwhile, supporters believe that a reimagined structure could finally offer the salaries and visibility that the current system lacks. So far, Caitlyn hasn't made any definitive statements about supporting or rejecting the idea. She maintains a polite, diplomatic stance. Yet the potential is undeniable. Her star power could make or break a startup league. For better or worse, she holds enough influence to shift the balance of women's sports. As negotiations and rumors swirl behind the scenes, fans and skeptics alike continue to watch her every move. Still, one question remains. Away from the hype, who is Caitlyn Clark really, and how does she spend her time when she's not lighting up arenas or wowing corporate events? The real Caitlyn. Behind the scenes, despite her larger-than-life persona, Caitlyn is by many accounts refreshingly down-to-earth. While some stars chase the glitz and glamour of Hollywood parties, she's often spotted teeing off on golf courses or grooving at her favorite concerts. Teammates and close friends describe her as someone who values close-knit circles and thoughtful experiences over red carpets and paparazzi snaps. When Caitlyn was seen at an NBA game, it wasn't always from a courtside seat with paparazzi in tow. In fact, she often preferred quieter seating areas, slipping in and out with minimal fanfare. This low-profile approach puzzles some critics who expect a global sports star to flaunt her status. But for Caitlyn, it might be a subtle way to keep her real life separate from the chaos of public attention. Reports also suggest her academic background in business marketing is more than just a bullet point on a resume. It's a genuine passion. She's rumored to devour books on business strategy, frequently brainstorming with mentors on how to expand her brand responsibly. When corporate opportunities arise, like business conferences or networking receptions, she sees them as an educational chance to learn about investing, branding, and entrepreneurship. This duality of star power and humble aspiration fascinates many. She could be dancing at a music festival one day and presenting to a board of wealthy investors the next. People close to her say that this balance is key to her staying grounded amidst the whirlwind of fame. But there's one last dimension: To this story, Caitlyn's global reach, because as it turns out, her name resonates far beyond just the United States. The global phenomenon, no corner of the world is out of reach for a superstar in the internet age, and Caitlyn is no exception. Fans in Europe, Asia, and even across Africa have started following her highlights on social media, sharing clips of her mesmerizing moves and big event speeches. International sports networks occasionally spotlight her performances, fueling the notion that she might become women's basketball's first truly global icon. Corporations with international footprints are reportedly circling, eager to introduce her to audiences around the world through brand partnerships, tours, or philanthropic missions. Imagine a Caitlyn Clark basketball camp in Tokyo, or a multi-city speaking tour across Europe's most influential business hubs. The possibilities are endless and, if executed well, could catapult her into a stratosphere few athletes reach. Of course, going global also brings fresh risks. The scrutiny intensifies, cultural misunderstandings can arise, and every move is amplified on the worldwide stage. Yet Caitlyn's methodical approach, mixing cautious brand alignment with strategic leaps into new markets, might minimize those pitfalls. It's clear that her reach stretches far beyond the boundaries of a WNBA court. She's already tapped into corporate America's top-tier circles, built a star persona among domestic fans, and captured the imagination of basketball enthusiasts around the world. Each day, her brand grows more formidable, creating a question no one can fully answer. Is there any limit to how high Caitlyn Clark can soar? As we wrap up, let's take a moment to see what it all means, both for her future and for the landscape of women's sports at large. Fan adoration versus fan backlash. In the sports world, the love-hate cycle is as predictable as a changing tide. Athletes go from being universally adored to picked apart at the slightest misstep. We've seen it happen with legends like LeBron James, who was revered as a high school prodigy and then vilified when he switched teams. Serena Williams faced ongoing critiques even as she continued to dominate tennis. For Caitlyn, a similar pattern may loom on the horizon. Right now, she's at the top of her game, beloved by kids who see her as a role model and older fans who appreciate her respectful attitude. But the bigger you get, the bigger the target. On your back. Some critics already grumble that she's overshadowing other talented players, hogging media attention. Others suggest she's too cozy with corporate elites, drifting away from everyday fans who made her famous. Trolls on social media point to the possibility that she's overly commercial, more focused on brand deals than the game itself. A single, ill-considered comment or a poorly worded tweet could light a fuse that ignites a wave of outrage, turning admiration into animosity. Right now, that scenario seems unlikely. She's careful with her public statements and largely stays out of trouble. But the reality is that no star is immune to public scrutiny. In Caitlyn's case, potential backlash might not come just from personal missteps. She's part of a rapidly changing landscape in women's sports, a stage rife with new ideas and old guard pushback. If rumors are true about a new league forming, that may be the spark that sets off a public debate on whether she's abandoning the WNBA. Which leads us to the next question. Could Caitlyn become the driving force behind a breakaway league, shaking the foundation of professional women's basketball? The rumored new league. Over the past year, whispers have been growing that certain superstar players are tossing around the idea of starting a separate women's basketball league, one that offers better pay, more control, and a fresh approach. To marketing, Caitlyn's name inevitably surfaces in these conversations. Could she be the poster child for a breakaway venture that redefines the sport? Her agent, famously outspoken, once hinted that if the WNBA can't accommodate the star, potential and revenue possibilities of players like Caitlyn, they might just create their own system. This statement spurred a wave of speculation, and fans began debating if a new league would complement or compete head-on with the WNBA. Pessimists say it would splinter the limited resources and confuse fans. Optimists argue it could usher in a new era of innovation in women's sports. If anyone has the star power to pull it off, it's Caitlyn. She consistently packs venues, commands six-figure speaking fees, and has a media presence bigger than some entire teams. A brand new league launching with her, as the face could attract major investors looking to tap into an underserved market. On the flip side, turning her back on the WNBA, or even giving the appearance of doing so, risks alienating a portion of her core following, not to mention the league that gave her a global stage in the first place. As of now, Caitlyn remains publicly non-committal. She thanks the WNBA for the platform it's provided, but doesn't outright deny the possibility of future alternatives. From a business standpoint, keeping her options open is the smart move. After all, the more uncertainty there is, the more leverage she has in any negotiation. Behind all this speculation, though, lies a person who still somehow finds time to be herself, a detail that gets overshadowed by the headlines. Who she really is for all the corporate events, big brand negotiations, and star treatment, Caitlyn Clark's personal life remains surprisingly low-key. While other celebrities her age might be spotted at high-profile parties or clubs, she's more likely to be found on a golf course, enjoying a day off with close friends. Witnesses say she lights up when discussing music festivals and concerts, preferring to unwind in relatively private settings rather than among camera flashes. Her behind-the-scenes demeanor catches people off guard. When the Los Angeles Lakers invited her to a game, she didn't clamor for a courtside seat until she was practically nudged into it by teammates. In her daily routines, she keeps a modest public profile. No brash tweets or wild nights trending on gossip sites. Then there's her academic side. She majored in business marketing, and insiders reveal she's genuinely fascinated by branding. Strategies. She frequently meets with mentors and older industry leaders, keen to absorb their wisdom on everything from real estate investments to philanthropic endeavors. This curiosity and constant drive to learn may explain why she's so comfortable being a keynote speaker in front of seasoned business professionals. She understands their language and has a knack for connecting on a deeper, more intellectual level. Despite the glamorous invitations, Caitlyn appears grounded. Those closest to her say she's acutely aware of how fleeting fame can be, especially in sports. That awareness fuels her decision-making, from picking brand deals with staying power to turning down offers she deems misaligned with her values. The plan seems to be build a stable empire now, so she won't be scrambling for opportunities later. But there's one more piece to this puzzle that elevates her star status even higher: her international appeal. Caitlyn Clark didn't just arrive, she erupted onto the scene, forever changing how we think about women's basketball and the business behind it. She's proven herself an unstoppable force on the court, an unexpected favorite in corporate boardrooms, and a contender for influencing the very structure of the sport. With whispers of missed million-dollar deals, potential new leagues, and a tidal wave of international interest, her future is anything but predictable. The real intrigue lies in what comes next. Will she continue to juggle the dual role of athlete and entrepreneur, striking deals that keep her in the spotlight for years to come? Could she embrace the rumored Breakaway League and become a trailblazer who challenges the WNBA itself? Or might fan backlash set in before she gets a chance to fulfill her grand ambitions? Whatever unfolds, it's clear that Caitlyn Clark has carved out a unique place in sports history, capitalizing on every moment of stardom with startling precision. She isn't merely riding a wave of hype, she's shaping it, accelerating it, and bending it to her will. In a landscape where even the biggest stars can fall from grace overnight, her story stands as a testament to how far talent, savvy business instincts, and relentless determination can take you. One thing's certain, if you think you've seen it all from Caitlyn Clark, you probably haven't. Her journey is a long game, filled with explosive twists and unexpected turns. And you can bet the world will be watching every step she takes, on the court, in the boardroom, or in some entirely new realm she decides to conquer next.